So I want to talk a little bit about trends in retailing, some of the major trends in retailing. First of all, we know that after the Great Recession of 2008, 2009, many consumers changed the way that they spend or changed their feelings, changed their beliefs regarding spending and started to become more conservative. So a couple of different things happened. We know that consumers cut back in terms of casual spending. Many consumers started preparing food at home. I think I've mentioned in the past about the success of Kraft Macaroni and Cheese and DiGiorno's Pizza due to the buying habits or changing buying habits of American consumers. So consumers became more, how can I say, more conservative regarding how they spent. Okay, so how did that impact retailing, you may ask? So a couple of different things. Discount stores like Aldi's, warehouse stores such as Costco, and off-price stores such as TJ Maxx and Marshall's continue to flourish even during the recession because of their aggressive pricing strategies, right? So consumers were still shopping at some of those stores while they maybe were pulling away from the higher price department stores. We also know that stores like Dollar General have continued to prosper or to flourish because of the changes in consumer spending, right? So if we look at the recession, we also want to consider the fact that many retailers were forced to close their doors. So KB Toys, the Sharper Image, Borders Books, Circuit City, all were forced to close their doors because of the Great Recession, right? So the recession forced retailers to think more strategically about merchandising, about pricing strategies, and how they could use certain tools to engage customers, right? So we know that due to advancements in technologies, we know that because of branded apps, etc., we know that many retailers have improved their service offerings to consumers, right? So if we think about the direct impact of advancements in technology, we know that half of total U.S. retail sales happen because of online devices, right? So whether it's these purchases are influenced by searches that have been conducted online, or these purchases actually take place via online or technological or tech devices. We know that tech devices influence half of all purchases made within the U.S., right? So if we look at what are the factors that have contributed to the growth in online sales, what do you guys think? What do you think are some factors that have contributed to growth in online sales? I'm going to definitely argue that social media has probably played a large role in the growth in online retail sales. We know that corporations are using social media to engage with consumers in ways like never before. Social media also provides consumers with the opportunity to provide retailers with feedback. So just to kind of give you some of the quick facts, McDonald's leads retailers in Facebook, Nordstrom leads in Pinterest followers, Starbucks leads in Twitter followers, and Victoria's Secret leads on YouTube. So why do you guys think that social media is so popular, or why do you think consumers are so reliant upon social media? And how do you really believe that social media impacts a company's bottom line or impacts their profitability overall? Curious to know what your thoughts are, right? So kind of moving on, if we think about social media, we can consider the fact that social media is a blessing and a curse, right? It's a blessing in that it increases the level of engagement. Again, it gives consumers an opportunity to have a voice in the way that the company conducts their business operations, just as we talked about with Wendy's and how the consumer clapped back. We can think about how consumers use social media to give new product ideas, to make such recommendations for improved product improvement, to comment on service experiences, particularly with the airlines, etc. So in that way, it's a blessing and a curse. It increases the level of engagement, but it also opens up the brand and makes the brand more vulnerable, right, to scrutiny, to criticism, etc. Right? So when we think about advancements in technology and how they're impacting retailing, we know that many retailers are now turning towards or thinking about, hey, how can we use technology more strategically? We know that consumers are excited about social media, but how can we turn the tables and use technology to our benefits, right? So a couple of different strategies in that area. First of all, the idea of showrooming. So if we look at Nordstrom's has a new platform or a new business strategy where they actually have showrooms where perhaps, or if we think about Tesla and the Tesla showroom, that's a better example. The Tesla showroom in Oak Brook, where you can actually go to a retail outlet, view the product, and then actually purchase it online. We know that online retailers such as Warby Parker, who started off as an online retailer, now has a physical retail site, multiple physical retail outlets where consumers can go and try on the product. So what many online retailers are now figuring out, such as Amazon, is that nothing beats the idea of consumers being able to handle, touch, experience products face to face. And so for that reason, showrooming may be beneficial. If you are dealing with a certain type of demographic or a certain type of product, it may behoove the brand to give the consumer an opportunity to experience the product in a physical retail setting, such again as we see happening with Amazon and the bookstore, or perhaps Warby Parker and the glasses. Other ways that companies are using technology, we know that certain companies like REI are experiencing with virtual reality. Macy's is also experimenting with virtual reality, where consumers can use virtual reality goggles, perhaps to take them to other travel destinations, to move them to other locations, etc. So they can see. North Face is using virtual reality, so consumers can see themselves in remote locations wearing North Face apparel, which I think is really cool. Macy's is experimenting with Bluetooth technology so that when consumers are in the store, they can actually receive a beacon signal to alert them of certain promotions in certain departments, etc., to send them information about certain promotional specials, etc., certain deals, or perhaps in-store samples, etc., that are occurring. And all of this happens via the consumer's mobile device. Okay, so again, North Face with virtual reality goggles, Macy's with Bluetooth technology, Marriott lets you experience different travel locations like Hawaii or London. So via virtual goggles, you're able to travel. Aldi, lastly, is testing with virtual reality in certain showrooms. Right. So again, overall, advancements in technology are changing the face of retailing, right? So very exciting times in retailing.